Guys, my name is Michael and welcome to the second tutorial of our GTK popover. And in this tutorial we are going to move on and to give some meaning to our popover menu, which we are trying to show it, or better say our popover. In other words, if I'm compiling to run again the last video, with the last program which we created in the first video, as you already noticed, we have here popover. We have but no information related to this one. So this is the thing which we are going to create in this video. So for this, I want to have an entry, for example. So GTK widget entry. We are going to create this entry, GTK, entry. We need to point our entry to the GTK entry new, and once that we create it, basically we can put it inside our popover. So GTK container, we add now with the help of GTK container add the entry inside our GTK container popover in this case. So this is what I'm doing right now. We are declared a widget entry, and then we create an entry with the help of GTK entry new. Once that we create it, we put that entry inside the popover. Now let me compile it and run and see what happens. You are going to have a surprise. I'm going to click the button. As you can see, the popover reveals, but we have no entry. It's not working. Whoa, what exactly happens? Well, this is another GTK thing which you need to understand. Because we are calling the GTK widget show all, basically everything which is created after is created at the point where you create the GTK widget all show all, it will be shown those things which you basically created. But we are not putting our entry inside our window, isn't it? We are putting our entry inside our popover. So at the point where basically the popover it will be shown, our entry doesn't exist, even if we put our entry inside our container. And for this behavior, we need to kind of behavior we need to take care for ourselves. So in other words, you need to call GTK widget show on your entry before you put it inside your popover with the help of GTK container add. Once that you call GTK show entry on your entry, everything works as expected. You will see. Let me show you. As you can see, now we have our toggle button. Once that I click it, you see we have our entry, everything works fine, and this happens because we call the GTK widget show. Now the next function which I'm going to introduce to, the next two functions are called GTK popover pop up and GTK popover pop down. The GTK popover pop up is a function which pops a popover up. This is different than GTK widget show call. In that it shows the popover with a transition. So if you want to show the popover without a transition, then just call GTK widget show. In other words, we were not calling GTK widget show at all. If you remember, we were calling the GTK widget set visible instead. But this behavior, we can just change it with this call right here. And the second one, GTK popover pop down, which for you it should be explained. It is the opposite of the GTK pop up. In other words, popover down. This is different again from GTK widget hide, like in this case was show. Call in that it shows the popover with a transition. So transition are fun, are something which is nice. If you want to hide the popover without a transition, then just use GTK widget hide. No, we are not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to call these two functions. First one right here, which means, as you can see, we only need the popover, nothing else. So I'm going to remove this one. No, I'm going to comment just to let it there for you. So in other words, GTK popover, we need to cast our to popover, and the next one popover pop down, it will be called right here. and of course I'm going to copy everything here just to make it faster. At this point, what happens? Once that the button gets clicked, then our popover, it will be revealed, it will be shown, it will be popped, and if you click again, it should be hide back, it should be put back to it from its transition. Watch. As you can see, everything works fine. If you click again, everything works fine again. Now there is something very important for you, another thing which you need to understand. I told you in the last video, at this point we have it, let me compile it and run it again. At this point we need to click 3 times. Watch, 1, 2, 3. And that happens because once that you click and the entry is revealed, it has focus, which means you already can type something. If you need this behavior, then let it like this. But if you don't need this behavior and you want only to be checked, like in 2 clicks, then for this kind of changes you need to call another function. And this function which led you to make this thing different, it is called GTK Popover set model. Sets the whatever popover is model, or model popover will grab, sets whatever popover is a model popover will grab all input within the top level and grab the keyboard focus on it when being displayed. So in other words, clicking outside the popover area or pressing escape will dismiss the popover and ungrab the input. But what is very important, I'm going to show you something again. Once that you run the program, I mean in this case, I'm going to hit enter. At this point, if I hit enter again, I have the focus on our entry. Even if you click space, you see it's basically working inside the entry. But if you need this behavior to shut it off, to force the user to click inside the entry, then you call this function just before your if statement, right here, before the if statement, and you are going to say GTK Popover. I need to cast to our popover, and you need to set it to false because its default state it is true. And now watch what happens at this point when I click the button. Now we have that 2 click shots. You see, I'm clicking, goes back, I'm clicking, goes back. You see, and this behavior happens also if you hit enter. Watch. You see, I'm hitting only enter, and I can open and close it. Even space works in the same behavior. So this is a behavior which takes care the GTK Popover set model function. Fix it for you. If you need this behavior, call this function. If you don't call it, and let the user, once basically that it's going to click this button, to already type something. Of course, it will be clever for you to set it back to true because you have an entry, but if you have another button or something, you don't want to get that button pressed. What happens if you have a box where you put 3 buttons inside of it? So you need to understand exactly what this GTK Popover set model function does, and I think now that you understand it. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.